What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. They do great work, so we want to give them another shout out for making these videos possible. So we're going to go over our 3-star map from yesterday. Oklahoma had a little bit of activity, so we're going to take a look at what and where that was. And then into today, there's big hail possible, and it's going to be a widespread risk area all the way from the Rio Grande in Texas all the way up into the Ohio Valley. So we're going to talk about where the largest hail is going to be as well as wind. And then back to the Southern Plains tomorrow. Oklahoma City has yet another chance to get hit with some significant hail. DFW, you guys are also in the risk. Same with Tulsa and a lot of the Texas Panhandle. So we're going to take a look at all of that here in a second. But before all of our weather, going into our upcoming events, the first of which is our C3 Lunch and Learn. This one's going to be here at Hail Trace on the 3rd floor in Edmond, Oklahoma. That's next week on May 10th. So if you guys want some free lunch and to hear C3 Group talk a little bit and come get to know all of us, come on out to the Hail Trace office for the C3 Lunch and Learn. And then after that, we are going to be at the Contractor Blueprint Seminar on May 13th, so just a few days later in Oklahoma City. This is at the River Oaks Golf Course. So if you guys want to come on out and play some golf while you're there and come see the Contractor Blueprint Seminar, come on out to that as well next week. So then into our hailstorm highlight for yesterday. So Oklahoma, like I said, you guys kind of stole the show there in terms of severe hail. Just north of Chickasha was some baseball-sized stones. Chickasha also got hit with some large hail. So we got a few rounds of significant storms moving through that area just to the west of Blanchard and through the Amber and Ninica area. And then if we shift on off to the east, Seminole also got hit. That's where we got our max hail size of 4 inches. This whole swath is pretty isolated in terms of hail. However, there were verified photos of large hail that fell in Seminole, so we got plenty of swaths out of this Oklahoma storm that moved through. And then for Seminole specifically, we got that up to 4-inch hail size. So that was through Chickasha, Seminole, and Watonga for the map name. 4-inch hail was max size on that, and all the swaths combined impacted over 35,000 homes. So not too shabby of a hail day for Oklahoma yesterday. We'll see if we can get kind of the same situation setting up into tomorrow. So this is what we had overall for our storm reports, all the way from the Central Plains. And then, the Mississippi Valley and the Southeast got a little bit of action as well. So shifting off into Oklahoma and Arkansas, there's just a ton of reports that came through into yesterday for hail, wind, and we got some isolated tornado reports as well. The Fort Smith area got impacted, just south of OKC got impacted as well, and through the Seminole, Watonga area, and then off to the east through the Tupelo area and Huntsville as well. There's some severe hail that went through. We got up to golf balls through this little swath here, and this one to the north of Tupelo. So, not too shabby once again. It was an active day yesterday for sure. Those storms quickly turned into a squall line, and then it just got messy as it moved through Oklahoma. But, if you saw us on TikTok, we got to see some awesome storms here at the Hail Palace, and then a lot of Oklahoma got some pretty cool structure as well, and, some severe hail to go along with it. So for today, looking pretty cloudy through the Central Plains as we wait for this trough to move out of the way, and then down through the southern states, through the far south part of Texas, and then up into the Ohio Valley. That's where we got a little bit more of sunshine, a little bit more of that surface heating going on. And so, through the whole area, it's going to continue to warm up as the day moves forward. So, here's where our cold front's lying right now. You can see it pretty sharply through Arkansas and Texas, 56 degrees in Dallas, 79 in Houston. So, a pretty significant change there in temperature as the system continues to shift southwards. This is the remnants of our storm system from yesterday that's going to continue off to the southeast. And then we could get some storm development moving through Texas later on this afternoon with that. And then up through the Ohio Valley at 63 degrees in Fort Wayne, 83 in Atlanta. So, we're waiting on that heat return in a little bit here as we continue to see storms develop through that area. So then for dew points, it's going to be a similar story along that cold front area. That's where we get that sharp cutoff in humidity. So 42 degrees in Wichita, 44 in Chicago. but then jumping up into the upper 50s and 60s once we move into the southeast and the south central plains. So again, plenty of humidity and plenty of heat that's working its way up into our risk area for later today, and that's going to help drive those thunderstorms. So for our significant, oh, well, didn't change the keyframe on this, so that's my bad. But for our future radar, okay, so we got significant hail values that are streaming up through the southern part of Texas. The most significant of those is going to be through the Del Rio area, as we see a ton of heating happening throughout the day and the afternoon, and then those Cape values are going to pick up along with it. So here's what we have right now. Again, the remnants of that first storm system that's tracking through Louisiana right now, and then we've got some storm activity that's going to linger through the eastern part of Texas as the afternoon goes on. But then around 7 p.m., we've got these big guys that are going to start to come off of the mountains here in Mexico, and as these stream off to the east, if these make it into the Del Rio area, these are nasty supercells, so any of those could produce some large hail along with them as they continue off to the east. And then we'll continue seeing storm development through the Shreveport area as well, so hail risk anywhere through there for the later part of this afternoon and evening. Then on up into the Ohio Valley. Plenty of showers to go around, and those are going to continue to develop over the next couple hours here. So, hitting the Louisville area by around 1 p.m. as just a couple of isolated clusters. Any of those could produce some hail in the severe limits, as well as anywhere through the central part of Indiana and Ohio. As that continues to ramp up and move towards the 75 corridor, here we are by 2 p.m. And again, these could be hailers through the Cincinnati area, moving into Lexington, as well as the Columbus, Ohio area by around 2. That's going to continue off to the east, and there we are by 4 p.m. Central, now 5 p.m. Eastern, making its way into the Jackson, Kentucky area as more of a band of thunderstorms, so could produce some gusty winds. And then we've got a second round that's making its way into Louisville once again, Cincinnati once again, and you could get a round 2 of some severe hail as well as gusty winds. Some of these could have some rotation associated with them, and so we will see a low-end tornado threat across the area as well this afternoon and evening as these continue to shift off to the east. And then, things kind of blow up towards the end of the evening as we get that peak heating, but they're going to continue moving towards the coastal states here. And then by midnight, those should be out of the Kentucky and Ohio Valley area and moving into Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee is just some loud thunderstorms. So for our forecast max hail size into today, the largest is going to be through the Del Rio area, so 2-inch hail possible for you guys if any of those supercells can track over the Rio Grande and into your area. Large hail associated with those. For most of the rest of us, it's going to stay more towards at or just above severe limits, so quarter, $50. So here's what we have for our swath for you guys. Anywhere from the Virginias into Texas could see quarters to $50. And then again, the largest area of the best instability with those supercell structures is moving through Del Rio, so that's where we could get those up to 2-inch stones associated with that. So zooming on into our city specifics, it's going to be low end across the board because things are pretty scattered up in the Ohio Valley as well as down through Texas. But moderate chance for Del Rio because, again, those are going to be hailers as they're coming off of the mountains there and moving into the Rio Grande area. Will they reach you? That's the question. That's why it's not a high end there, but moderate chance for Del Rio to get some large hail tonight. San Angelo as well as Austin, low end chance for you with any of those scattered thunderstorms that pass through the area, as well as Shreveport, same story. But then once we shift northeastward through Memphis, Nashville, Louisville, Charleston, any of you guys also could get quarters to $50 with any of those scattered storms passing through the area. Not a ton of instability out here, but with those singular cells and with a little bit of Cape values that can get us some severe hail into later this afternoon. Then for wind, it's going to be a similar risk area here, tapering off our chances, taking them down from moderate to a little bit lower once we get into the rest of the Texas area. So again, it's just going to be very scattered, and hail is the biggest threat for Del Rio. So low end chance across the board there to see any significant wind gusts, but it's non-zero. So we're putting y'all in the risk for later this afternoon and evening. Same with Jackson and Memphis. And then popping on up into the Ohio Valley, that's where our chances start to pick up now. We do have a chance for rotation there, so we got those tornado indicators on our map here. And then for Louisville, Columbus, best chance for you guys to see some gusty winds into later tonight. Same with Lexington and Jackson. You guys could also get some gusty winds as those lines pass through, and you know, you'll have a couple rounds of them. So once one moves through, know that there could be a couple more that pass through in a little bit. So just stay very tuned to your weather as this afternoon and evening continues to play out. And then once we move eastward toward Charleston, towards Roanoke and Blacksburg and off to the east, that's when things will start to kind of taper off, and instability is going to die off a little bit with that nighttime cooling, and then we'll start to see more of a low-end gusty wind threat, and again, just some loud thunderstorms. Then for tomorrow, so it looks, oh shoot, did I not update? Hang on. For tomorrow, it looks like things are going to be pretty active for the central Oklahoma area. And I could have sworn I put the future radar on there, and that's a gigantic bummer that I didn't. But for the future radar, I'm just going to tell you the synopsis of what's happening. Things are going to develop through the Texas and Oklahoma area pretty rapidly by around the late afternoon hours, by around 5 p.m. Okay, we're getting this cold front that's going to sink down through the Central Plains, and then we're going to get this dry line that's driving to the east through the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. And so with that, we get the similar setup to what we had yesterday, where we get that triple point intersection, and storms are just going to blow up through the Texas panhandle, racing off to the east through Oklahoma and into Texas. We'll also have some cells streaming up through the DFW area, and with those, we could get some isolated hail as well, and those are going to be ahead of those dry line triple point induced storms here. So okay, we have a couple of rounds of severe weather that could come tomorrow through the late afternoon and early evening hours. Now, if it plays out like it did yesterday, we could have all of that unzip at once and it squalls out, and then we just get that band of thunderstorms that produces all of that wind and some lower end hail sizes. But right now it's looking pretty consistently supercellular, at least through the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma. So that leads into our hail forecast here, where we could see our largest hail sizes through the Panhandle, as well as the far western part of Oklahoma. Up to baseball is possible because we do have some larger instability values through the region. And then all the way down through the southern part of the Texas Panhandle, that's where we could get 2 to 2.5 inches possible, anywhere through there where those dry lines are, or where the dry line is meeting that cold front. Okay, and then off to the east, we have that other chance for a couple of leading cells to move through these Texas, through the DFW area and into Durant, Oklahoma area. Anywhere through those, we could get ping pong to golf ball sized stones, and we'll see if we shift this further east depending on how quickly that dry line moves, how quickly that cold front moves. Yesterday proved to be, that's a very significant factor in these storms' development. So if you guys are in Amarillo, Lubbock, Del Rio, low-end chances, because it does look like the storms will be tracking eastward, developing right over you, but then continuing to pass east as they intensify. So if things shift west, then you have a better chance of seeing some large hail. But right now it looks like it's going to pass to the east before it really starts to ramp up. Then off into the Wichita Falls and Oklahoma City area. That's where we have a higher end chance for you guys to see some significant hail into tomorrow night and evening. Tulsa, DFW, Abilene, moderate chance for you guys as that starts to band up and then pass over you. But again, DFW and the area through here could have a couple of those leaving storms. So it's a little bit of a different situation for you guys. And we'll post the future radar so you guys can see it. But then down in Del Rio, again, low end chance for you guys. So overall, tomorrow could be a pretty significant hail day, as well as a significant wind day. So here's what we have for our most at-risk cities for tomorrow. Oklahoma City, Wichita Falls, best chance for you guys. We're going to leave you guys in a high with those supercells tracking over you guys into the late afternoon, evening hours. Abilene, dropping down the chances just a little bit since you're a little further south than the main part of the action there. Dallas and Tulsa, moderate chance for you guys. Amarillo, low to moderate, just based on all the reasonings that we've mentioned just a second ago. So if you guys are in any of these cities, again, just take note that you're going to want to pay attention tomorrow to our forecast and to the weather, because it could be a doozy once again. And then here's what we have for you guys for our wind forecast. Similar risk area there, anywhere from Kansas down into the southwestern part of Texas. Could see some gusty winds with those storms developing. Amarillo, Abilene, and Del Rio, looks like things will be more singular as they pass over you. pretty scattered in terms of some damaging winds. So low end chances for you guys, but then again, once things start to band up over Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and DFW, that's when we're bringing our chances up more towards the moderate end of things to see some gusty winds. And then again, through this corridor, through Lawton, Wichita Falls, even into Oklahoma City a little bit, that's when we could have some rotation on those storms. So, you know, again, tornado icons there, just to note that we do have a tornado risk as well through that region. So make sure to stay tuned into tomorrow, and then the next few days after that, we'll also have some action for severe weather. So here we are by right in a few hours here. So this is what's driving our storms into today. You know, I'll have all that heat and humidity recovering through the Central Plains as well as into the Ohio Valley. So that both of those disturbances will help fuel some significant thunderstorms until later this afternoon. Then by tomorrow at noon, we get this trough that's starting to dip down, all right? And then again, all of that heat, all of that humidity, and all that instability building up through the Mississippi Valley as well as the Central Plains. And so as this cold front sweeps through and moves through into that dry line area, that's when we'll start to get thunderstorm development through Oklahoma and Texas tomorrow evening. That's going to continue to sweep off to the east. So by Thursday, it's kind of the same situation as we're seeing for tomorrow, except now it's shifted east into the Mississippi Valley and southeast for Thursday. That's going to continue off to the east. Friday could have an East Coast risk. And then off into Saturday, we have that chance for that buildup of instability and that build back of all that heat, humidity, and then on Sunday we get yet another trough, and this one looks pretty nasty as well, pretty significant trough. If it digs any farther south, we could have quite an exciting week ahead of us starting next Sunday and Monday. So we'll fill you guys in. Got a lot to talk about for the next few days here. So make sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And also make sure that you guys follow us on TikTok to see all of our office shenanigans. And we're also posting our chase footage if you guys are interested in seeing some aesthetic cloud photos. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details on who we are and what we do. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.